Hans Niemann catching him in a nasty trick.
Jan Nepomniachtchi, the guy who was playing for the World Chess Championship just last year, cannot believe what's hit him. It's the emotioning. But the best part is this.
Pinned, and look at this. Hans Niemann flexing because he's landed a fork, hitting the queen, hitting the rook. If this knight is captured, his rook will capture the white rook. He's winning material.
The gloat of the goat, or at least he wants to be one day, right? Dethrone Magnus and Hikaru and all the chess mafia guys, including these two. This game's titled Tuesday, 30th of September, Hans Niemann obliterating the field, and he had the black pieces here. After pawn d4 from Nepo, he keeps it very solid. A Nimzo-Indian defense, the very opening he used to spank Magnus Carlsen at the Sinkfield Cup. Kick off the drama 3 years ago. I'll link the video at the end of all that one in case you missed it. You want the recap. We see pawn e3. We get this variation where white makes lots of pawn moves, is behind in development, but has the centre. The bishops, the battlegrounds are drawn. Now with the black pieces, why would you give white this huge space advantage and centre? Well, you want to fight back against it. It's one of these hyper modern style openings. We get bishop g5 from Nepo. e5's on the cards now, so pawn d6 covers the square a second time. Bishop d3, h6, bishop dropping back, and the empire strikes back, stopping white from playing pawn e5 once and for all. And hands up if you're playing pawn d5 here. Well, yes, you set up the connect 4, but you really need to go and take a good hard long look at yourself, because you allow this hitting the c pawn. Say you try and cover, well, queen d7, forcing an exchange, knight takes, this is collapsing, it's positionally lost, so you can't do that. Knight e2 from Nepo, of course, he's too long in the tooth to give up the square. Knight a5 anyway, and here's Nepo's point. You could go c5, you could go f4, there are different kind of pawn sacrifice ideas. Nepo goes for this one, allows it to drop here, but in return takes queen d3, he gets some initiative. However, Hans Niemann's just got him all under control. He plays that one, a4, both pawn pushes are available here, but pawn c6 is played. Understandable on Niemann's part. He wants to set up this beautiful bathtub. We know he loves a bath, a real long soak. It's his happy place. Sometimes he even goes in the robe just for extra snuggly comfort. Loves to go with the chess set, the rubber duck. It's where he does his best deep thinking. And it allows him to get positions like this. But after rook a6, the position looks ominous for black. That one's sitting on the head of the pawn like a sumo wrestler. Of course, if you ever try sumo, don't forget your loincloth. It's a cardinal rule. And after this, and the rook's doubling, how are you wiggling out? Because this looks horrible. This is pressured if the knight ever moves. White still has more of the centre. This is a bit of a menace. Well, Niemann now plays knight to d7, and he actually sets a trap for Nepo, which he falls into hook, line and sinker. Now what should you do here? Well, knight g3, one of the better moves, or taking the pawn, which is being offered right now. Different game, we won't go down that route, because Jan Nepomniachtchi plays bishop e7. Now, if Magnus was playing black, maybe he doesn't go for this. He thinks to himself, why is Magnus letting me do this? Fork the rook, and then take a pawn. Has he blundered? Am I missing something? And the answer is, yes, he is missing something. Niemann now unleashes it. But just before we show it, don't let this happen to you. Get Lotus Chess. Make sure your openings are fantastic. Link in the description. It's all I've got to say about that one today. The move that Niemann plays is rook e6. He whispers, do you even rook lift, bro? He's in fantastic shape, and there's a double problem. So this bishop is attacked twice and therefore about to be taken, only defended once. And if you move it, you know, somewhere, then takes here because the queen is supporting the pressure. Beautiful line. So because of those problems, we see takes on e5. Looks like you've solved everything. 1, 2, whoops, 3 times defended. But here's the sting at the end of the tail. It's knife c5. Niemann picking up his knight and fork there and making Nepo look really, really silly as he chows down on him. It's reminiscent of the time that Kramnik tried to eat Danya.
Mushrooms.
Now, of course, you have to save the queen, so bishop takes was played in order to do that. But now takes here. Niemann's won the exchange. This is where he's doing his kind of victory dance thing. It's incredibly bold, incredibly confident, because look at Nepo's pawns. You could check king f2, not played. This is how the game proceeded. But this looks dangerous, right? White's going to get some attack going. Yes, you've got an outside a-pawn running. Can't quite take it with the white bishop or your queen drops. So knight g3, a5, running like Yasser Serwan, but knight f5. I mean, this is scary. This is an immediate threat. So king h7, fine, but now mate in 1 threatened. e6 at any moment. The bishop also trained on the square. I mean, to dance in this position, assuming the game is just done, takes incredible kahunas, right? We now get queen g6, best move. You could almost consider this, and pawn takes, try and run the e-pawn, but it's not quite working. The knight gets a bit discombobulated, d6 is critically covered, so okay, we get this. Rook under fire, saved. No stinky boo-boo blunders from these top guys. They're not riding the blunderbuss the same way that you and I are. Queen b1 hits the pawn. You could actually just keep marching. Give this pawn, because it gets so far down, you're in trouble. But not played. Covered instead simply. Good practical chess. You could play king h2, top move. But understandably, Nepo goes for it with knight to d6. So he hits the pawn twice, but of course you don't have to live with that knight. You can take. Best move. This is the game continuation. Check. Discovered check from afar, and the rook is hit. Therefore this is forced. Rook g6 intercepting that check. Also attacking, very reminiscent of the game which Ding Liren clutched against Jan Nepomniachtchi to become world chess champion. What an awesome fight that was. I'll have to try and link it one day or cover it again. So queen c2 covers the mate, but a3, f5, I mean these are dangerous, right? Rook up, check, rook back. Now we see takes here, and a real classy move. No king takes because you run into a discovered check. Still winning actually, but instead queen d5. Very powerful move. I never actually looked at why not queen e6, to be honest. Why not queen e6? Okay. I guess just because Niemann wants to stay on the mate threat. So he goes to d5 instead, allowing pawn e6. And does he take? No, he doesn't. Incredibly confidently, he plays pawn a2, completely ignoring everything white is doing. He's up on the clock here. It's in the delivery suite. Baby girl on the way. Magnus just had a baby himself. I said congrats yesterday already. We won't labour the point. No pun intended. That one just came. This is how Nepo now plays. And it's a decoy of the king. You can't take with the rook, it's pinned, so king takes, and check is his point, but it's a bit of a spite check, because after this check, where are you actually going with this attack? Answer, nowhere. This is the most precise, but this is the more understandable human move. Running away to the corner, this is a pawn sack, but just to open the bishop, it would seem, and now you can't take the pawn, or the bishop drops with check. So instead, we get this move here. Excuse me. Now the queen checks back. Pawn g3, never a fun move to make when there's a rook lurking in the air, right? Oh boy, queen e3, rook e6, and you're just getting pushed from pillar to post. The writing's on the wall, the queen and the rook absolutely irresistible. Here Nepo resigns because the queen's overloaded. Here's one sample line. Queen takes, take with check, and now you can go queen f3 for the fastest mate, but everyone's doing this in a blitz or bullet game. Then you just run this one through and you deliver the old ladder or staircase checkmate, whichever one it's called. This was the final position. Truly crushing game from Hans Niemann. And have a look at the video on screen in case you missed yesterday's, his absolute bamboozling, spanking of... Who was he playing? I've completely gone blank, it's late. I was thinking Hikaru, but it's not Hikaru. It's going to really bug me now that I can't remember who. Ali Reza. He was playing Ali Reza. It's been a long day. I need to get some rest. Thanks very much for watching. Do check out Lotus Chess. It's fantastic, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.